Hi, Monica Humple here, Master Certified Coach, and this is my channel, and this is part of my special series just for the wayward spouses. And I want to talk about something that you may or may not have experienced after the affair came to light, is something we call hysterical bonding. Hysterical bonding. You guys may be having the absolute best sex of your marriage, right? And you might be amazed. You might be like, whoa, where was this before? You might just be really savoring this reconnection with your spouse. I hope you are. I think it can definitely help in the reconciliation process. But I want to talk specifically about how we need to realistically see hysterical bonding. Hysterical bonding is also called trauma bonding. With the trauma that your spouse has experienced in this scenario, there is a desire, because you feel you almost lost something very, very, very precious to you. And you crave to be as close to that thing you almost lost as possible. It's almost this desperation to be with them. And there's also this incredible emotional intimacy that takes place because, affairs are secret. They're secret. So the person having an affair has been keeping this secret in the dark. And then when the light shines on it and it's brought to light, that person is almost, the person who's had the affair is almost, for the very first time, just naked. I don't know a better way to put it, just naked in front of their spouse completely. And the betrayed spouse choosing to stay and still love them and work on the marriage, even after they've seen them for who they are and what they've done, is powerful. Because in my case, I'll give you an example. That was the first time I had ever seen my husband cry. He had not cried at all in front of me in 14, 15 years. It was a very vulnerable moment for him, and he was vulnerable in front of me. And I believe with all my heart that he thought I was going to punch him in the face and walk out the door. But I didn't. I stayed. I stayed on that sofa and I agreed to work it out. There is something incredibly emotionally vulnerable and powerful that happens between two people when that happens, okay? So hysterical bonding it's coming from an emotional place. It's coming from a place of trauma. It's a desperate feeling of, I have to be with this person. And it is good. I don't think it's a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing. It can be a good thing. But what I want to talk to you specifically about, looking at it realistically, over time, hysterical bonding will fade. Yeah, I know. My husband's pretty bummed. We were together physically every day, sometimes multiple times a day, and it was really, really good. It was intense, and it is not sustainable, because once you've pulled away, once you start to feel safe and you're more comfortable in the relationship again, and you're able to relax with your spouse, it gets back to a normal rate of physical intimacy. And I know we probably all would love to have a normal rate of intimacy that quite that intense, but it's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. It's not realistic either. So I want to make sure that those of you who had an affair and they're trying to heal things in their marriage with their spouse after that, and they're thinking, oh, this is great. Oh, I love this. Oh, if we could just keep this up, I'll be happy. Don't lean into hysterical bonding as an ongoing thing. Enjoy it while it's there, but understand that on the betrayed spouse side of things, There may be a fear of when their desire for so much physical intimacy starts to go down some, that may ratchet up their fear. That may trigger them to think, uh-oh, my spouse has gotten used to this level of physical intimacy now. What's going to happen if it doesn't work? Or what if they get sick? Or what if they get pregnant and they're bed rest? Or what if, like in my case, what if they go through menopause and their libido starts to lower a little bit? I mean, what happens? Is he going to leave me? Is he going to have another affair kind of thing? I thought those things, all right? So as a wayward spouse, it's important that you assure your betrayed spouse that the level of physical intimacy you have is good. Don't question, gosh, I really miss when we would have sex twice a day or whatever. Understand that things will wane. And as sad as you may be about it, try to remember that there's already a fear in them that if they don't perform to a certain level or they don't do certain things, that you're going to have another affair. And if you truly want your relationship to heal on the other side of this and to be healthy on the other side of this, you're going to need to understand that the two of you need to find a rhythm. Every couple has a natural physical intimacy rhythm that works for both of them. Some people are very active sexually because that's just their rhythm. Some people aren't. Most people are somewhere in the middle. So you guys need to find a rhythm that works for you. But hysterical bonding, I wouldn't say all the time, but I'd say a lot of the time it wanes. It's not sustainable. And actually, that's a good thing. That's what I reminded my husband when I told him I was doing this video. He goes, oh yeah, I miss those days. Like, I know you do, but it was coming from a place of trauma. You don't want me always having sex with you because it's coming from a place of trauma and desperation. You want me to have sex with you because it's an act of love. You know, hysterical bonding, great short term. Long term, it needs to be about that physical connection that's also a mental and spiritual and emotional connection with that person. It needs to be something you do because you just love your spouse. There's no trauma feeding it. There's no desperation feeding it. It's just, this is what we do because we love each other. It's that relaxed physical intimacy that I love this connection with you. I want to keep doing it. So if you have gone through hysterical bonding and you're like, oh, I don't want it to stop, then remember that it's just not sustainable. Now, okay, if you're listening to this and you're a wayward spouse and you have a sex addiction, you need to be talking to your therapist about this, because as that physical intimacy winds down on your spouse's side, you need to start learning your own strategies to manage your own needs and desires so that the two of you can find a rhythm that makes sense for you both. Okay? Just because you have a sex addiction of some type or even a porn addiction does not mean that you can't manage this at whatever sexual intimacy level that your spouse is meeting you on. Okay? There are ways to do this, but it's got to be something the two of you figure out together. Okay? Because sex is togetherness. Let's figure it out together. Okay? All right, so hysterical bonding, great, short term, but does not last forever typically. So be patient with your betrayed spouse. Give them assurances that it's okay when their libido starts to go back to normal, because there is a normal rhythm, and celebrate that normal rhythm, okay? It's not that bad. And some people, hysterical bonding lasts a long time, and some people it doesn't. And some people don't go through hysterical bonding at all. So, but if this is you, then find that natural rhythm once it wanes down, and then lean into it. What a beautiful, beautiful place to be as a married couple.